Welcome back to the Daily Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Woods. I'm here tonight with special guest, Justin Hickey, Daily Thunder contributor, and he is in the house. He was at Staples Center tonight. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Ryan?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. We've got I would say pretty lopsided loss here for the Thunder. Kind of got a little interesting there late in the second half, but this one got out of hand pretty early. What did you see from the Thunder in the room tonight?
So what I really saw was the Thunder lack a lot of size in the interior. I believe they got out-rebounded by at least 20. Serge Ibaka was a complete hassle inside, kept getting cleanups. The Thunder would cut it down to 12 or 14 every once in a while, and then Serge Ibaka would get a cleanup. Ivica Zubac would get a cleanup, and they could just not guard any of the centers that the Clippers had out there.
Absolutely. Oklahoma City got out-rebounded by 19, and that offensive rebound number has really been the one that's troubled them in the last three games. 9 tonight, 18 offensive rebounds to Denver, and 9 to Chicago before that. So over the last three games, that's 12 a game, offensive rebounds a game given up to opponents, which is the league leader in Atlanta. So it's really an issue. It stands out. It's glaring every time you watch one of these games. Oklahoma City really, really struggles to rebound the ball without Al Horford.
Definitely. And they started off 2 of 21 from three-point range, and then to end the half, I believe they hit 5 of 6. And then at one point they were 10 of 12. And they just could not get it going in that first quarter. And ever since then, I believe they outscored them. It was about 90 to 84 in the last three quarters. So they played great in those three quarters, but that first quarter, they just dug too big of a hole and couldn't get out of it.
Wanted to get your perspective, given that you were there tonight, on what it was like going to an NBA game to cover it, or as just an observer, as a fan. What was that like being in the room during this wild era of coronavirus?
You know, it's pretty crazy. And I see how Houston Rockets fans feel when they go to games. There's probably about 50 people in here. So
Shots fired. Fired.
It's been 358 days since I last covered a Thunder game when they were in Phoenix, and they were able to get the win that one. But it was a great experience. They had a lot of fake crowd noise. They did a really good job of it, but it just can't beat the normal experience that you get when you have fans inside of arena. And they can do as good as they can with all the fake noise, but I can't wait for fans to get back into the arena.
Sure. And are you hearing a lot of bench noise then, or how far away were you from the floor?
So I was about, I would say, 30 feet above the Clippers bench. You can hear them screaming a little bit, but, without the fans or anything, there's not really much going on. They pump in the defense stuff that they usually do.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's going to be a great day when we can get a vaccine out and rolling out and we can get fans in these arenas again.
You mentioned that the last game you covered was the Phoenix game. You had a video go viral of Sam Presti walking back to the back hallways with James Jones. Was that game?
That was that game. He came out with his kids and his wife and went over and saw James Jones. And I tried to grab my video out as fast as I could on my phone. And he walked by and he was stroking his beard. And I was like, man, is this going to be a trade or something that happens? And at the first, I thought maybe Dennis Schroeder, maybe Danilo Gallinari. Obviously, we can't say what's going to happen in the future. But could that have been the time where they started talking Chris Paul? Then COVID hit about a month after that. So we'll never know. But I was pretty happy to get a little bit of video of Sam Presti. But he kind of likes to stay out of the eye. So I think he went back there because he saw me with the video pulling out.
I think it was either Woj or Shams that broke the Chris Paul news, but they really should have credited you. I think you were on it months ahead of time. By the way, that's at jhickness9 on Twitter. If you're a Thunder fan, I'm sure you're following, but if you're not, that's where you can go find that video. A very, very interesting bit of footage you captured there. So going back to the game, Shea had a phenomenal second half. I believe he finished with 12 or 14 in the fourth alone. I wanted to ask you a question, more a general going forward question with Shea. Coming into this season, we talked a lot about, is he a two guard? Is he a point guard? And they made it really clear going into the season that Shea was going to have the ball. Even though they had George Hill on the roster, even though they had drafted a rookie point guard in the second round, they were giving the keys to Shea. Are you seeing enough from a playmaking standpoint, from a shot creation standpoint, even though obviously his teammates aren't what they will be when this team's ready to compete again? Are you seeing enough from him in that regard that makes you think that he is at least a vital ball handler for this team going forward?
Yeah, I believe he can stay at that one guard position. He had about 7 assists through pretty much 2 and 1/4 of a quarter. He finished with 8. He made some really nice passes tonight, but I think with him is he just knows that sometimes when he's on the floor, there's not many guys that can score. I know against Dort had a good night, but sometimes Darius Baisley, Isaiah Roby, they get a little timid when they shoot. Darius Baisley didn't look like he really wanted to have the ball as much tonight. So I think Shea feels that pressure that he has to go out there and score, or others won't. But I saw a lot of his passing tonight. He made a behind the back pass that was really good in the third quarter, that he was coming this way, that I was at my seat here that I was able to see. But I believe that he can be at that point guard position. It will be interesting to see how the drafts and everything go in the future, how Tio Maladon's going to do. But I believe that Shea has the overall ability to take over at that point guard position and do very well for the future for OKC.
Late in that, especially when he got going in the fourth quarter, I love how aggressive he is when he gets a big switched on to him. He looks so much more confident this year of getting by that guy and then making a play, whether that's a floater, whether that's pulling up, whether that's getting all the way to the rim, like we saw against, I believe it was Marcus Morris tonight, late in the game, that he put the moves on. And I love seeing that. He finished with 30 tonight, but also 8 assists. Like those are Russell Westbrook type numbers. That assist number is gonna rise the more that he's playing with guys that are able to convert on those passing attempts you're talking about. Once they get a lob threat in there, I love what I'm seeing from Shea as far as a playmaker is concerned.
Definitely. And I mean, some of the moves that he made tonight and some of his scoop layups that he does is just so special. He's got such a good package that he can go out there. And like you said, when he gets a big switched on to him, I'll take that 99 out of 100 times that he's going to take it to the rim. And the big thing that I think is going to be big for him going forward is I think just that one season with Chris Paul, even though it was only one season, is going to have a big impact on his career and his leadership skills as well.
No question. And like you're saying, when he gets that big on him, it's amazing. He just moves at such a different rhythm than even guards and forwards who would typically guard Shea. Those guys are seeing a pretty consistent rhythm with most guards and ball handlers that they are seeing. Not with Shea. Shea has such an off tempo, such an ad lib type game that it really throws guys off. That long stride that he's got in the lane, it is such a weapon, and I'm pumped that he's really taken the next step offensively, because it's gonna do wonders for this team going forward. I want to talk a little bit about Lu Dort. Every single game, he's showing offensive improvement and doing more things on the offensive end than I thought he was going to show this year or maybe in the years to come. Did you see this coming at all?
I did not see it coming, and just a reminder that he was undrafted and the lowest paid player in the NBA last year. So I think Sam Presti got quite the steal right there. But the big thing with him is he's hitting shots from the outside, but the biggest improvement that I'm seeing from him is he knows that he can get guys off their feet and take it to the basket. He seemed a little nervous to do that last year, but he had a few finishes tonight. I believe there was an and one that he had that he went up left-handed, where he switched the ball in the air from his right hand to his left hand. Like, we didn't see that in his rookie year. And just his offense. And then we knew what he had with his defense. He had a great defensive night, but there's just sometimes where Kawhi Leonard and Paul George will not miss. And it doesn't matter what type of defense you play on them. They will continue to make shots. And I believe Kawhi Leonard, he does this little jump shot where he pops back into the lane, and it's almost automatic. No matter how you guard it, he's going to continue to make it. So Lou Dort had a great game on both ends of the floor, and it's just great to see the improvement that he's had over these last year and a half or so.
I've got to mention this kid, especially with you on. You've been driving the train, but I want to get your thoughts on a Shea, Dort, Emoni Bates lineup.
I'm big on Emoni Bates, so I don't care if we have to trade 4 or 5 draft picks to get him. I've watched Emoni Bates these last couple years in high school, and he just basically looks like a Kevin Durant mold. He shoots the same, he moves the same. And the thing with Kevin Durant, obviously, probably greatest scorer of all time. The thing he lacked when he came into the NBA is he didn't have much of a dribble package. And that came with when he was in OKC, he started that crossover from right to left. He started going over left to right, but he lacked that in college and high school. Emoni Bates already has that. And obviously we can't put him on the Kevin Durant pedestal yet, but he's far along than anybody I've seen in high school. And I think he's going to be a surefire #1 pick if I had to take the guess.
Yeah, I am with you 100%. His shot really, like everything about his game looks just like a young Kevin Durant. It really is amazing. And he's got a little more meat on him than Durant did at that age as well. And when Durant came in the league, it was still a big man's league. So I'm excited to see somebody like Bates, what he could do right away. He is such an exciting prospect, and I've tried to throw out some prospects on this podcast, especially with this new era of Oklahoma City basketball, where we're taking more losses than we're used to, and hearing about tanking. And there's a lot of fans that aren't with that. But for those of you that are still like, why aren't we, trying to win games? Why aren't we, trying to make moves with these picks? There are reasons why these losses help. And go watch a little bit of Emoni Bates, and I promise you will get a little more excited after some of these losses.
Definitely.
Well, Justin, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us from Staples Center, I should say. We'll definitely have you on here again soon.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you having me on tonight.
Yes, sir. Thunder fans, take care.
Have a good one.